Okay, good evening, everyone. Again, thanks for joining us tonight. I don't want to take any more of everyone's time, and we will begin with our sixth annual owners meeting. Uh, as you know, our motto is for investors by investors. So we do not just manage your properties, we also own properties, and everything that you experience in the market, we experience that as well. So tonight we're just bringing a little bit more information for you that you may not have chance to connect with us during the year and get it from the first hand. This session is being recorded and we have the packed agenda for you. So please drop your questions in the chat during the meeting. If we're able to answer them as we go, we will. If not, we will have time at the end where we will have a Q&A session. We have a couple speakers for you tonight as well. And again, please keep yourself muted and drop questions in the chat. So tonight we're going to cover financial strategy, how to manage your cash flow for repairs. We will have a quick update from Cameron, our BDM manager, and I will give you the data on the market, the legal changes that we had this year, and on our performance metrics and numbers. We also have a deep dive on maintenance with one of our preferred vendors. And we will start right with financial strategy because cash flow is king. And one of the biggest pain points for investors when you have a large expense coming your way, say you have a broken heater or you need to replace a roof and you have to deplete your personal cash reserves. So tonight we brought Nick DeFederico from MB Capital Solutions. He's an expert helping leverage your business credit so you don't have to use your own cash for the repairs uh, or unexpected repairs. So, Nick, I see you in the guest list. You can
How you
take
doing?
everything here.
Yeah, Yuri, I appreciate you having me here. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on tonight. It's an honor to be here. I was on Yuri's podcast, let's say a couple weeks ago, it came out. So definitely appreciate you having me on to talk to you guys. And, kind of like what Yuri said, where we help is by getting you access to cash, right? As real estate investors, as landlords, we all need access to cash not only to purchase the properties obviously, but then as you need to do repairs or cover maybe waiting for a tenant to come into one of your properties, we may need to float some money. So we're big believers in building out what we like to call your funding toolbox. We all have tools that we like to leverage and use, whether it's cash or hard money or credit cards or lines of credit. Really, the idea is to have as much of that access as possible so that you can take advantage of opportunities, right? Whether we're just getting started and, we have one property, or if the plan is to grow and leverage and be able to, build a rental portfolio of multi units. I'm a real estate investor as well, kind of like what Yuri said, for investors by investors. My company works predominantly with real estate investors all across the country. Whether you're doing fix and flips or buy and holds, we're going to need cash at some point. So essentially what we do is leverage strength of personal credit to get you access to funds in your business name so that, you have those funds necessary when something pops up, whether it's an emergency or another opportunity. All of us here, we own properties and we're real estate investors, and we're going to need cash at some point. The idea is to build it up in the business name so that we can keep ourselves bankable on the personal side, right? Like right now, personally, I'm using a little over $200,000 worth of business credit cards and business lines of credit, doing a deal in Philadelphia. But most importantly, none of that reports on my personal credit report. So I'm able to leverage smart, but more importantly, keep myself bankable and lendable so that when the property is fully rehabbed and rented, I can do my DSCR loan and not have to worry about the impact of the leverage that I'm using on the business side impacting terms on my DSCR loan. Even though I'm leveraging close to 200 grand, again, none of that reports on personal credit. So when lenders pull credit and I'm getting pre-approved for my DSCR loan, I'm still getting best terms, rates, interest, regardless of the leverage that I may be using. I'm burring in Philadelphia. So the idea is, refinance and pay back my lines of credit and go do it again. But most importantly, I've built up enough in access where, if I do get that call or if I do need to replace a hot water heater or, I have to call the plumber in for one of my properties, I can leverage my lines of credit in the business name and not worry about having to dip into personal cash flow. We work with, again, predominantly real estate investors all across the country. And I see it all the time, right? Emergencies pop up, and first place people go if they don't have cash in the business is they start to leverage personal credit cards. We're probably all guilty of doing it at some point, but the idea is let's not leverage personal credit, because that does have an impact on us, not just from, a credit score perspective and a DTI perspective, but now you're servicing debt on the personal side as opposed to leveraging business money to kind of float yourself. So, we're in the business of essentially getting our clients anywhere from 50 to $150,000 of working capital in our business name. That again, yes, as property owners and landlords, we need it for repairs. But if we're looking for that next deal and that next opportunity, we can use it for acquisition as well, right? We can use it for down payment money. We can use it for closing cost money. If we are doing rehabs and doing that BRRRR method, leverage those funds in your own business as opposed to using high interest, hard money loans. Not that we're not using hard money loans as well, but the more that we can use of our own funds, the more we're tending to put in our pocket when we're doing our deals. So, if you're out there and you need access to additional capital, or we've been lucky enough not to have an emergency yet, now's the time to prepare, right? Now's the time to get those things in place so that when they do hit, you're not scrambling around last second. And I know Yuri had mentioned, we're going to save some time for the end to answer any questions that you may have. My daughter did have a concert pop up, so I do have to run here in a few minutes. But I am going to leave my Calendly link in the chat so that if anybody has questions, if you're curious about ways that you can build up capital, schedule some time. I'm an open book. I'm happy to help any way that we can. So before I jump out of here, I'll make sure that I put my Calendly link in the chat so that if anybody needs any help or needs additional working capital, we can have a conversation to show you how we can help.
Okay, thank you, Nick, for your insights and on the availability for us tonight to talk about the business credit that you can help our clients to obtain funds either for repairs or next potential deal that they may have. We also have Capital Solution, MB Capital Solution contacts listed on our website. So if you just go to TrustArt Realty into the owner's resources, you will get a link that you can just fill out and Nick will get in touch with you.
And if you haven't watched our podcast yet, go watch it. It was really good.
Yeah, that is true. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Okay, so we keep moving, and next up is Cameron, our business development manager. Many of you have already spoken with him. So, Cameron, can you tell us a little bit about our partnership program?
Muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Thank you, Yuri. My name's Cameron. I am the business development manager with TrustArt Realty. So my job is really to grow the business and add more doors and more properties for us to manage. We have a great referral system with realtors as well as with owners. So if you are looking to add a property, or if you have a family member, a friend, a colleague, coworker, whoever who is interested in gaining investment properties and looking for management, we have a great program involved where we can give you $85 credit towards every signed referral. So every time somebody signs up with us that you refer to us, we will give you an $85 credit on your rent roll. Kind of just we want to grow the business. It really helps with referrals. We are also recently ranked very favorably in the Philadelphia area. The Philadelphia Inquirer did rank us in 2024 and 2025 as the top property management company in Philly. Recently, we also, if you want to check out propertymanagement.com, we were also ranked number one in Philadelphia as the top property management company, as well as number 14 in the country. So nationwide, we are getting recognition for our services and our hard work. So if you have anybody that is interested in looking to grow their portfolio, let me know, and I'd be happy to chat with you.
Okay, thank you, Cameron. Just
Yep.
to echo what Cameron said, we built our business on trust. If you know someone who needs the same care that you receive from us, just let us know and we'll get them set up. And also, in addition to what Cameron told you about us being rated number one by different sources, we also are candidate for one of the most highest or the highest certification in residential property management in the country, which is CRMC with NARPM. And we already passed legal and accounting audit of our agreements, our documents, our books, and we are on the way of getting the certification. Now we're just waiting for the audit from NARPM, audit of our whole business. And hopefully next year we will get the certification and we will be the first company, not just in Philadelphia, but in whole Northeast region that get this certification, which is very exciting for us. And thank you for you all that by managing your properties, we able to improve and provide you with better services. Moving forward, before I dive into the market data, I want to take 30 seconds to recognize the human side of our business. You know that property management is a people business, even though technology is great and important, but people solve problems. And every year, our team vote internally on the person who best represents our core values and the person who goes above and beyond for your tenants and your properties. Tonight, I'm proud to announce our 2025 Employee of the Year, which is Anik Saad. Anik have been instrumental in protecting your assets this year. I'm sure all of you know him, and we're lucky to have him here. Uh,
Thank
so
you.
now let's look at the state of the union. We want to be transparent with you about what we're seeing in Philly market and nationwide as well. Nationally, the data confirms what we see in the local market as well. And as the recent, actually this week, CNBC report shows that apartments rental prices dropped 4 consecutive months in a row, and it's 1%. It's seen 1% drop in November as well. And the national vacancy rate for apartments is at the record high of 7.2% right now. All of this data is for apartments, which is not exactly our bread and butter, right? We're managing small houses for you, duplexes, triplexes, not exactly apartments. But the smaller housing always follows the same trend as apartments do. So we are seeing the same trend in our markets that we have longer vacancies rates, we have higher vacancy rates, and the rents prices are dropping. So we do not get the same amount of rent that we were getting last year, or especially we do not see the same what we saw 2, 3 years ago after COVID. Rents are slowing down and we are adjusting to it and we're being more aggressive with our pricing, with follow-ups with the leads that we have for rent. And it can be even tougher locally than average nationally. So locally across the all city zip codes, As per MLS report, we had 62 days average on the market for any rental unit, meaning that properties rent on average within 62 days being on the market, which is an increase from last year. And in some areas that we manage decent amount of properties and you have them, and we had a decent amount of listings this year as well, it takes even longer. For instance, in zip codes at like 19121 and 19132, average time on the market as per MLS is 91 days. So it's 3 months plus. Again, we're talking about average, and that varies depends on the property type, size, and specific location of the property. But the good news is that despite that we manage a lot of properties in those areas and that we had a lot of properties on the market this year as well from those areas that affect the amount of days on the market that we have. Our company's average days on the market across all rental properties in the city that we have is 58 days as of now. So it is a few days less than average for the cities per MLS. And I'm sorry. And we know that the market changes fast. And this one time of the year meeting that we host at the end of the year may be not enough for you to get all the information that you may want to have or need to have. So we have a podcast that Nick just mentioned about that we recently released an episode with him together. It's called Philly Landlord Guy. And we release an episode every other week where I go over marketing conditions for Philadelphia market, and we have guest speakers that bring you some updates and news about Philadelphia market as well. So you can just find it on our website as well under the resources, or you can find it on any platform that you use.
I'll
Spotify.
type it now
I'm sorry.
in the chat. I'll add it to the chat,
Oh,
the
okay. Yeah.
YouTube link.
Anik is dropping YouTube link in the chat. But yeah, you can find it anywhere on Spotify or YouTube or any other platform that you're using. Uh, okay, so now to the legal updates. We are all invested in this wonderful city of Philadelphia, and we know that the legal landscape for landlords is not getting any easier year after year. And our job here is to be your shield and stay on the top of all the changes that we see coming landlord's way. So I'm not going to go over all the changes that we saw this year. It was a lot. Our city council, as usual, they busy with their work and creating different bills that affect the way how we operate or what landlords must do. But a few main ones, and I will start with one that we were talking about last year in our meeting. And last year it was not set in stone. Now it is. We have we had this law for a while, but it was never uh, enforced by the city until this year. And what I'm talking about is the source discrimination or discrimination based on source of income, meaning that we cannot discriminate based on the source of income where PHA voucher holders consider to be income. So in plain language, that means that we cannot discriminate or we cannot not accept PHA voucher holders. In other words, Section 8. So even if you do not want to accept Section 8 tenants, we still have to accept them. When applicants come in our way and ask us if we accept Section 8, we have to tell them that we accept them. There is no other way around, otherwise city will penalize you. And they started doing this and they collected already a lot of fines from landlords in the city this year. We have an episode about this in the podcast as well. Another couple important changes that we had happen this year is our security deposit law. that, again, we had in the books for a while, but now they rewrote it a little bit. And now, if any landlord collects more than 1 month of security deposit, they have to provide tenants with an option for installment payments, for 4 months installment payments. And another one is a law that now limits the amount of application fee that you as a landlord can collect from a tenant to $50. We're super happy that they settled on $50 because in the beginning they were talking about passing $20 application fee, which would not even cover the expense of running a background, not a background, running a credit check on a tenant. It is more expensive than $20, even for us. If you do it as a landlord, it's even more expensive for you. So they settled on $50. Uh, and again, you don't need to do anything about this. It's just something to be aware of. Everything is handled by us, and we're compliant and we're prepared. So we do not take more than 1 month of security deposits, and our applications fees are $50. And the application fee law is actually comes in effect in 2 days, December 7th, I think. We also monitor all the time our active city council and all the bills that they put that will affect landlords or investors. And now we have a bill that I personally monitor closely. Uh, One of the city councils put a bill up. It's not a law yet. It was not voted. It was not signed into law yet, but it's coming next year. And again, my assumption is that it will be accepted. Again, it's very similar to what we already have in our city, but they want to change it a little bit. They didn't provide specific details, but what they're talking about is that they want to crack down on all of out of state landlords, and not just out of state, out of city landlords, and all the LLCs or trusts or any businesses. So what basically they're saying is that they tired of hunting down landlords that hiding behind LLCs or some corporation that doesn't have a face to it or some PIA bugs. And they what they called it is they want to have verifiable contact for non-resident landlord, meaning that any landlord who doesn't reside in city of Philadelphia will have to provide verifiable contact, and they did not specify what that means, what is verifiable. But basically, what they're trying to get to is to have a specific contact, a phone number, an email address, and mailing address in city of Philadelphia for a person who's responsible for the property. It cannot be an entity, it cannot be a PO box, or it cannot be a virtual address. Again, it's not a big problem for you since we manage your property. You can just use TrustArt Realty. You can use our email and our address and our phone number for your rental applications. But again, I think that they will pass this, and we do not know yet how it will affect the rental application or how they will collect that verifiable contact. But since we're a property manager or property management company, I'm sure we are a verifiable contact. So again, nothing you need to do here. It's just something to know about. Now, moving forward, uh, besides that, we stay on the top of all the market data and all the legal complications that come your way. We also stay on the top of KPIs that we have. And these are just a few main KPIs that we track. We track many more than this. Everyone in the company has KPI that they track, departmental, on the personal level, on the company level. And to improve all the metrics and all the KPIs that we have on track, we use EOS system. Maybe some of you are familiar with that. It's a system based on which we build our business and half of all of our scorecards, KPIs, metrics, and how we hold the meetings, how we track that things are getting done. And on top of that, to make sure that we keep developing and keep providing with better solutions and better quality and better service for you. We also constantly work on our tech stack. And as I mentioned before, that this is a people business, people solve problems, but technology is important as well, especially in this age when we hear about AI coming from every single corner. Everybody's talking about AI, and we do the same. We implement some AI product or implemented a few AI products into our business, and you already see difference in a few products. For instance, we implemented new condition report software. So now instead of those long PDF files with a lot of pictures and fields attached to them, you have this clean 360 walkthrough that you can literally walk through to your property and see what it looks like, kind of the way when you stand inside of the property. And you can create a PDF out of that as well if you prefer that format. And also, we implemented a new software that allows us to be available 24/7 for any leads that come in our way to make sure that we stay on top of every single lead for your properties for rent. So when we have a listing up, every single lead that we receive followed up with a phone call, with a message, with text message and an email and multiple messages and at any time of the day. So none of the leads are missed. And that keeps us or helps us to keep on track or perform better than average listing on the market. So despite all the tough market and legal challenges, our internal team is still running better, and this is our data that you see on the screen. Again, it's just a few metrics, but we decided to share this with you today. So our speed of repair is 3.4 days. This is an average number for speed of repair. It's the time from when we receive a maintenance request from your tenant to the time when we fulfill that request and close the request. The industry median across all the property management companies in the country is 8 days. So we are 50%, more than 50% quicker or faster than average property management company closing repair request. What that means for you, it means that faster repairs get you happier tenants, happy tenants renew leases, and this number directly affects your bottom line. So the next number that you see on the screen, maintenance remediation, 19%. Uh, it's a little bit weird name for this, but this is industry standard name. And what it means is the percent of all maintenance requests that we receive and close without sending out a vendor or without going out to the property. So spending zero of your money, which means that 1 out of 5 calls or maintenance requests that we receive, we able troubleshoot over the phone or online and close it, and you do not spend any money on it. Again, we are performing better than average industry here. Average industry number is 15%. The next one is rent collection, and it's 96.5%, which looks like it's a low number to collect the rent. But again, this year, across the industry, across the whole country, the average is 96%. So we're still performing a little bit better than the average. And how this metric calculated, it's from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, the total amount of rent that we collect uh, of the all rents due, and it is 96.5%. The last but not the least metric that you see here is our renewal rate. And renewal rate is basically how many of your tenants renew in the lease. And as of now, we are at 75.4%, meaning that every 3 out of 4 tenants stay with us. Our goal for this year is 80%, and hopefully that by the end of this month, we will be able to achieve 80% goal. And why I care about this, again, because if tenants renew, you don't need to do anything. We do not need to do anything. And turnover is the most expensive cost that you have. It's vacancy plus getting the unit rent ready. The higher renewal rate we have, the more money you save. And for industry average is 63% for the renewal rate. So we are well above that. And since I just mentioned the turnovers and maintenance, we will switch to the next guest and Joe with KC Carpet and Upholstery, and we will be talking about repairs. And I asked Joe to share why vendors. Joe is our trusted partner and one of our preferred vendors, and I asked him to talk to you about what kind of problems he sees at the properties when they go in. What is the most common problem that they come around, and why they prefer to work with property management companies versus individual owners. Joe, I think I saw you in a guest. You can unmute, and floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for being a little bit late. I had a little technical difficulties here, but thank you for having me join in on your meeting. I look forward to working with, again, Yuri and his team. What a great team they have there. But as a vendor, one of my biggest whys is what I do about this is because I know what it's like to have rental properties and not be able to be at all of them. And, you have a great management team, but, again, they can't be at every property. So what I did was I built a one-stop shop to support a management team and be able to, maintain your properties while you guys keep buying and investing. Yuri's team keeps managing, and then we'll keep maintaining. One of the biggest things is we set up a preventative maintenance program just so that we can stay ahead of any problems. We do, even when we're out there fixing like a hole in the wall or a broken bifold door, we're also doing, visual inspections, taking notes, taking it back to your team and letting them guys know, like, hey, we noticed a light fell or some blinds were ripped down or a hole somewhere. And this way we can stay ahead of it so your investments stay, in shape. Working together as a team is a very important part of how we grew from one van to 12 vans. So we value these partnerships. And so far with TrustArt, we've had great relationships and great experiences. So I thank you again for having me. And anything you guys want to talk about, let me know.
Yeah, and if anybody has any questions to Joe, you can just drop in the chat right now and we can discuss it, or we can answer that or try to answer. But to kind of repeat what Joe was just saying is that preventative maintenance is cheaper than emergency repairs. So what we're working on right now actually is one of the things that we're working for the next year is we are building a separate plan for preventative maintenance for you to be able to use when we would go in and do little touch-ups to the property and make sure that everything is in good shape. That's in addition to our condition report that we already provide you with every year. So we're working on improving that process and getting it not just the report done, but at the same time when we go for the report, take care of little things that can become a bigger problem in the future. And Joe is helping us with that process or with that product.
Yeah, like Yuri and myself, we talked I guess, a few months ago, and exactly like you said. I mean, with you guys have 12 properties, and you might have 10 really good tenants and you might have two not so good tenants. You don't know that until it's too late sometimes. So with the things that Yuri and his team have in place, to where we can go out there maybe every so often, do inspections, stay on top of some of like the appliances or mechanical things, just so when tenants do move out, you're not hit with a hefty turnover cost or a hefty repair reactive type thing. We kind of stay ahead of the game, so your investments are going to be secured. And this management team, when you find someone that's willing to worry about the preventative as opposed to just waiting for the reactive, that's a good management team to work with. And that's one of the big reasons we like to work with management teams, because they understand the same thought process as the vendors do. It's always easier to stay ahead than it is to play catch up. And when you're an out of town investor, an out of town owner, it's not as easy to convince you, because you're like, why would I spend that kind of money or spend that, join that kind of program when nothing's going on? Well, if we stay ahead of it, you'll never have to worry about buying a heater after 5 years. You'll let the longevity of that heater go for 25, 30 years. Even blinds or countertops, you know, uh, cabinet doors, anything simple enough that we can stay on top of will save you guys money in the long run.
Yeah, yeah, and even now we have this program where we deliver filters to your tenants for them to replace them in the furnaces. That's a great program, but unfortunately, not every single tenant does it. They receive filters and they never replace them, even though we send them reminders and tell them that that has to be done. They still may not do it. So this is one of the reasons why we working on this preventative maintenance program that will include whenever we go out to the properties, we will have the filters replaced. Or if you have a refrigerator filter, maybe that will be replaced as well. Or if we have electronic lock, we can replace the batteries. We can check on smoke detectors and replace those as well if they need to be replaced. Instead of us just going to do condition report and then based on that condition report, sending somebody else out to take care of those little things. So hopefully that will come out, or that product will come out sometime soon next year, and we'll be able to provide you with this. But also interesting fact, when I was getting ready for this meeting, and I was reviewing all of our KPIs and collecting the data, uh, some of you may know that we use a different software for maintenance from property management software, just because none of the property management softwares have an amazing maintenance part built into it. So we have a separate one that we use, and we just recently changed the way how we deliver you the statements, or not the statements, I'm sorry, how we deliver you invoices after the job was done. So now instead of receiving an email from one of our team members saying that it was done, this is your invoice, you're receiving an email from the platform that we've been using for a while saying that it was done and this is your invoice and these are the pictures. But also that platform just allows us to see a lot of different details about how we perform and compare. We can compare ourselves to other companies, not just in our market, but across the country. So we can see how our metrics match up. And that's where we know that or how we know that our maintenance response rate is 3.4 days and things like that. But one of the interesting things that I found is one of the most or the most common problem that we have across the board for all properties is water, different type of leaks. And it's not just a faucet, it can be a toilet, it can be bathtub, it can be clogged pipes, it can be a leak in the window, a leak in the ceiling, a leak in the roof, different type of leaks. And this is the number one problem across all of the properties. I do not know why we cannot build houses that do not leak, but unfortunately, this is the way how our housing here works. And again, catching small leaks with preventative maintenance, it is much better than if we did not catch it on time, and then it becomes a huge problem that we need to open up the walls or rip out the floors to replace a pipe or do some kind of repair. So hopefully with this program that we're working on, we will be able to timely or better or faster catch the problems before even tenants can see them.
Yes, I mean, like overall inspections on your properties, like it's hard to, just go out and interrupt your tenant's life, by saying, I want to inspect the property. I want to look for leaks. I want to look for cracks. I want to look for something broken. But when you're supplying them a service like TrustArt wants to do, by we go out every so often and change the air filters, change batteries, check light bulbs, check the exterior light bulbs, then it gives us a reason that hey, we're here to help your tenants. We're here to maintain the property, but we're also there to do an inspection so we can get ahead of those problems. Like Yuri was saying, water is a huge issue for properties. Clogged gutters, issue. You know what I mean? Like when these guys stay on top of these, the management companies have programs and plans to where it makes it easy to stay on top of this because, it's not like one owner wants to do it, one owner doesn't want to do it. The management company says, no, we're going to do this because we know how important it is to avoid these issues down the road. So these plans that they're putting in place are going to be great for all you guys. I think you should be really happy with this because in the long run, you're going to save a ton of money, and not have to replace a heater after 5 years because a filter's been in there for, 3 years. You know what I mean? We change those filters every so often. We check the garbage disposals, we check the dishwasher, hot water heater, and those are the type of things that will add longevity to by us staying on top of them.
Yep. Okay, guys, we have some time left. Does anybody have any questions? Or do we have any questions in the chat?
I guess you can unmute yourself and ask the
Yeah,
question.
if you have
That's
any
easier.
questions, you can unmute yourself and just go ahead.
I can
Hey,
answer
Lori, it's
anything.
Maria. How are you?
Hi, Maria.
How much is this program cost?
We still working on that. We don't have the program set up yet. We didn't pull all the data together yet, what we want to do, how we want to do it. But we do not expect it to be too much. And once it's ready, we will announce it to everyone. We'll send an email to let you know what it is and how much it would be.
And how often is this inspection going to happen? You don't know that either?
So, yeah, that was the things that we were discussing, like whether it's twice a year, 4 times a year, their price point on it. I mean, once we can get something that's going to be affordable for everybody and then make sense for the management company, so they can keep inventory or like a list, a spreadsheet of like each property, what we find, ways to keep track of everything. Maybe take pictures if we see things so we can document it all. But like Yuri and myself and his team, we've been discussing this for a few months now. So we're hoping to launch it maybe first or second quarter of next year.
Yeah, that would be the goal for us to do it. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to just email us, and we will take that in consideration. But as of now, I guess train of thought that we have, we're already going out to the property at least once a year for our condition
Right,
report. So it will be at least once a year, but we want to do it, we do not want to do it 4 times a year just because it's complicated with the tenants. Nobody wants us to
right,
be there every other month and walk around their house and do things.
right.
But at least once a year, maybe twice. But again, it's still work in progress. We do not have specific.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions anybody have?
I have a question about the Philadelphia regulations. It wasn't a regulation that happened this year. I understand those. It was a regulation that happened last year, and I unfortunately missed the owners' meeting, so I didn't get an update on it. But it was about there was a change in the Philadelphia housing or Section 8 applying process. And I was just wondering if I can get a copy of the link to the owners meeting from last year so I can watch it and see what that update is, or if you're able to briefly tell me now what that change was.
Yeah, we have actually we have our recording up on our website. If you go to TrustArtRealty.com, resources and educational videos, you will find that video from the last year video recording. This one will go up as well. Uh, I am not sure which or what is you referring to applying to Section 8, but as far as PHA or Section 8 problems go, uh, you don't really need to do anything because we are the ones who do everything on your behalf. So as long as we have all the certificates that we need to have, and as long as we apply on your behalf, there is nothing that you need to do or you need to change. If you need to change something, we will let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Any other questions? Okay, guys, if we don't have any other questions, thank you all for trusting us with managing your assets. We're already working on our major upgrades for 2026, as you just heard from Joe, that we're planning on that. We're working on, and probably we will be updating our owner's benefit package for those of you who have it or who subscribe for it. We had some changes with the partner that we have for the benefit package, and they removed something, added something, and we were not very pleased with the way how it went. So we are working on the ways to get that benefit package better for you. Again, it's going to be for the next year, and we have a lot of different things that we have planned. Again, as soon as we have something new coming up, we will let you all know by email. And again, this meeting was recorded. It will be processed. Once it's processed, it will be sent to all of you, and also it will be posted on our website. Thank you all for attending, and happy holidays that coming along soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Thank you for having me, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.